Hi everyone, my name is Enoch. I'm from Boon Lay Garden Primary School, and I'm so honored and privileged to be here to share with you this idea called flipped mastery. So in this video, we're going to explore what flipped mastery is and how it enables us to enables and enhances active learning and differentiation. So as the name flipped mastery suggests, it is actually like an upgrade to flipped learning. So then why is there this need to move towards flipped mastery? And one of the reasons why I started Flip Mastery is because I realized that my students were all learning at different pace. And so I needed a way to help every group of students and especially help them to progress at their own pace and also show mastery before they progress. And in doing so, I really hope to not only teach them the concepts, to help them master the concepts, but also to help build in them that self-directed learning attitude, that skills and attitude that they need, right? So how did I do Flip Mastery? I adapted the Flip Mastery model from one of the STP teaching actions called I do, I know, I check. So what students do first is they first start with the I know stage, where they have to watch video or they engage in small group teaching to learn the concept. They will then move to doing and practicing to apply what they've learned, and they also have to check their own learning. They can also be discussing and thinking about what they're learning. And then after that, this is where the assessment comes in, the mastery check, where they check their own learning. Now, if they fail, it's all okay, because failing allows them to learn and practice more and to try and try again until they show mastery, and then they can move on to the next concept. And the cycle goes on and on. Now, I'm going to show you an example. I'm going to use my P5 foundation math as an example, and this is the topic on time. So in this topic, I wrapped it into like an escape room or an adventure where they have to complete 4 missions. And you can see that each mission is actually a learning outcome that they need to master. So mission 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that is the entire topic of time. And I put it all together into one SLS course. All right, so you can see that's why there are sections A, B, C, D, and finally E. So how does it look like? So first, we start with the I know part. And the I know part is where my students watch the video on the concepts. And they can also do questions that is not related to the textbook, or it's not from the textbook or the workbook. And this allows me to then identify those with learning issues, and I can work with them individually. So the good thing is now I'm not bounded in the front of the class teaching the concepts, but I can then help students on a small group or one-to-one basis. Now, after the I know part is where they will start to practice. And usually they will do their workbook or any additional worksheets I give them. I can also put bite-sized tutorials for them. But the main thing in this segment is after they do, they are going to use answer checkers in SLS to check their answers. So the good thing is for SLS, it allows them to try again without giving them the answer. So they know whether they are right or wrong, and they can keep trying until they get the correct answer. So this allows them to practice on their own, get immediate feedback without having to wait for me to mark, so that they can move on to the last stage, which is the I check stage, and that's the mastery check. So in the mastery check, I actually made use of a few different tools in my other units. So I've tried the teacher marked quiz. I've also tried a third-party tool called Quizalize. So the teacher marked quiz is good because it's embedded in SLS itself, but they will need me to give them that feedback, because the teacher mark quiz is good because it allows me to unsubmit the quiz and they can try again. So if I realize if they did not meet the standard, so probably maybe 5 questions, I require them to pass or get correct at least 4 questions. So if they're not able to meet this target, they will have to redo again and again. But they don't know the correct answer. So that's good. Quizalize does similar thing, but it does it automates it for me. But the thing I don't really like about Quizalize is the UI. It's not so user-friendly as compared to the SLS teacher marked quiz, but the teacher marked quiz requires me to be the one to unsubmit it. So there are pros and cons. And so I want us to really think about this and discuss with me, right? So go to the comments below, share with me your thoughts about these 2 questions. What other EdTech tool can we use for students to show mastery? I've only tried these 2. Are there any other tools you've tried before or you can think of? And then what are the pros and cons of each of the tools so that we can best select the tool that meets our need. Now, you might ask me, how do I keep track of students' progress, right? With many students working at all different pace, it's going to be a mess. It's going to be chaotic. Well, sometimes it is, but that's good because the students are then struggling and working on their own and they don't have to wait for me, right? So how do I keep track of students' progress is I make use of checklists. So this, what you see there is a checklist for students. So they can then tick on their own after they've completed each task. And I can also, you can see the last column there is checked by the teacher. So I can also counter check to make sure they've indeed completed the task before they move on to the next. Now, on my end, I will have also a copy, and I use a simple spreadsheet to just make sure I know where each students are at, and then I can also help to give them targets. So there are times that students lag quite far behind, and so I'll tell them by this week, you have to complete at least mission 3 or mission 2, so that this prevents them from taking infinity years to complete their task, all right? So there's also accountability in place by using these kind of trackers. So the challenge I have for all of us is I want you to explore this concept of flip mastery for your students. And I want you to see how it can enable yourself, your students, to enhance and enable that mastery, that active learning, that differentiation. And I really hope that you can also share with me down in the comments below your experience of flipped mastery. And with that, I'll see you. Bye-bye.